Hey, this is Trader Travis. I just wanted to stop in and give you a market recap video just to show you some things I was observing in the market and to go over some trading opportunities I'm sure you took advantage of. Right now, I'm looking at the Dow 2-year daily chart, and I want to point out and re-emphasize something we always say in training. Trade what you see, not what you think you're going to see. Since this is the 2-year chart of the Dow, seen that the last 2 years the Dow has made an awesome run up in price. However, all throughout this run up in price, you had people preaching the sky is falling. Everybody thought the Dow and the stock market was going to fall. Yet, it keeps shrugging our opinions off and keeps going up. And so if you follow what I've taught, then you've taken advantage of the trading opportunities as they presented themselves. Yes, even I sometimes get caught up in what I think I'm going to see, like the latest not Greek, Egyptian crisis on TV. I just thought that the market would tumble or sell off when the Monday preceding the news, but the market shrugged it off, and so I had to keep trading my call options and take the money it was giving me. So anyway, here we drill down to a 6-month chart and we see the same thing. Strong 30-day moving average is trending up. And so we've had a couple of down days, but the volume is lower. It's lower than average. Here's the average 50, I think it's a 30-day moving average on the volume. It's lower than that. And so even the volume is weak on those sell-offs. So I'm not too concerned with it. If we look at the NASDAQ, let me get rid of the trend lines. Same thing. NASDAQ is trending up strongly. And if we look at the S&P, same thing. And I had drew a line of resistance there. If we scale out to a 2-year chart, same thing with the S&P. It's gone up in 2 years. And so, yeah, it may fall. I've even been thinking it was going to fall, but again, I don't trade what I think. I trade what I see. And what I see now is a strong trending upward stock market. As long as it keeps trending up, I'm going to keep taking trades. If things change, you'll be able to see it in a chart. It's not something that you're going to wake up one day and be surprised that the stock market dropped 30%. You'll see it in the chart as it's happening. And so it should never catch you off by surprise. So let me drill into some trades that happened recently that I'm just sure you took advantage of. Apple is one that people trade a lot, and we had a trade entry sometime around here. You would have been concerned here because you had a level of resistance that was happening right around here. And so if you might have been concerned and wanted to wait till the trade preceded above resistance, and which it did, and it kept trending up. So there are two ways you can take that trade. You can take it and keep your hand on the sell trigger, and if it stalls at resistance, close out your trade, or you can be a little bit more aggressive and trade it, and then as you see, it kept going past resistance, and it's been going up here. And I know the charts are kind of small because I'm trying to keep the recording window small for you, but as you can see, it passed the resistance. The volume wasn't there though, so I'm not extremely confident in that move, but Apple is a good stock. People always trade it. All right, let's go to another one, PLCM. Here's one. A student just emailed me and said he just closed it out for a 55% gain, and not sure when he got in or what template he's using. I assume he got in, I don't know, it might have been around here or he might have waited a few days. But this one had a trade entry around here, a little bit past resistance, and it's been rising up nicely. Had a strong downward day today, and it was on a somewhat high volume. But it's had a nice run up in price. Nothing to be upset about, especially a 55% gain. AHGP, another one. This one, the moving averages are stagnant and laying on top of each other. I usually avoid these ones, and of course, this will be the one that took off in price. I mean, you had like 2 weeks an upward movement and only had one down day. And I don't know what the profit percentage was. I don't have time to go and back test it and look up the historical option prices. I mean, but this one is awesome. And this one also had another trade entry. Let's see the next one here. AMG. AMG, I don't like the moving averages laying on top of each other. But it's had a recent signal here. And the 7-day broke away from the 30. So that's of a bullish or an upward strong sign. But it's right around resistance here. So I don't know. It's a 50-50. Not sure how I would take that one. And it was a sell-off today with volume. So if I had this one, it may make my final list, but it may be on the bottom of the list. It's not something I probably would put on the top of my list to trade. This one had a nice, let me see, entry probably about here. but it's trading sideways, but it's gone up now. So if you wanted to wait a while because it's trading sideways, it may not be too late. It's pushing it on our 5-day rule, but it's now starting to take off and volume looks like it's picking up a little bit. KCI, this one is a fairly recent trading signal right at resistance. However, the volume's picking up. It's passing through resistance or higher volume. That's a strong sign, something I like. And I just made a trade based on a template like that here recently, which I'll show you in a second. So this one is a fairly recent one. This one would make it to the top of my list, and tomorrow, depending on what it happens, I might look to trade that one. Let's look at TPS, one of my favorite companies because their beds are awesome. This one had an entry about here, and it's had a nice run up in price. I'm a little upset because this was on my final list to trade, but when I went to trade it, it started acting all stank on me. And then, like, I mean, the days I went to go trade, it was down. I looked again, it was down. And so I was like, forget it. After 2 or 3 days of following, and I move on. I'm getting like trading ADD. I move on and get distracted. And then, of course, I look back and I'm like, great, it ran up in price after it came on my signal. I was looking to get in about, I think, this day, and it was down. So, of course, I'm annoyed about that. ARLP had a signal around here, came up about resistance, stalled a little bit. Now it's taking off, but it also had a down day. So that's a so-so one. That one might make it on my price. And this next one, I was just hoping some of you were in. Chart is ugly as all heck. The 6-month chart is ugly. However, it did satisfy the template. The 30 moving average was trending up strong. We had the 7-day moving average is down, and that means the short-term trend was showing us it was down. And if it was down here right when we got our entry signal, we're not sure here if it's going to cross. It's one of those 50-50, so you wait and see. But if you're a more aggressive trader and got in on this day, the confirmation day, I mean, this run up in price was absolutely ridiculous, and I'm talking about 300-400% return on investment. And I was waiting to get some emails from you all, but maybe you avoided it because of this ugly chart. And if you did, rightfully so, it's better to be careful than it is to be greedy and lose money. This one had a nice, it was stalled at resistance since about December, and now it's passed through resistance, and just today the volume picked up strongly. So again, this is another one that's giving me a strong signal. What was that? That's HMSY. Just writing these down, and I think KCI was the other one. Okay, and let's see this next signal. Open had a signal right around here stuck at resistance, and it had a run up. Not the prettiest run up in price, but enough to make a profit. Nobody ever went broke off a profit. This one has a nice, pretty 6-month chart. Right here, it was gone up. People sold for probably taking some profit, and then it resumed its upward trend. And so if you took this one, and it had earnings late recently, so I guess earnings was good because it's still trending up. So let's look at the one I entered, Lulu. Okay, Lulu's one I've been following for a couple of years, and I'll show you why. Here's a 2-year chart. Had a nice run up, but then it got stuck at resistance recently, and so it traded flat for a while. However, I got an entry signal around here, and it picked up volume, and so it passed through resistance, or 2 or 3 months worth of resistance, and it picked up on higher volume. That's a pretty strong signal for me, and so I entered that one, and it's been doing great. However, now I'm posed with a decision. Lulu has had 2 days of downward movement, and let's pull up. And in those 2 days of downward movement, I've lost maybe about 20 to 30% of the value of my trade. And so let me pull that up for you. So I bought it at 540. Right now it's at 735. That's still hanging around a 36% return on investment. Not bad for about a week. I lost the chart. So what I'm doing here is now I'm adjusting my trade. This trade is made in 2 of my accounts. The smaller account I use to trade with coaching students, and also my larger account. So in week 5, you learn money management. So even though it's the same trade, the same percentage loss in both accounts, however, I'm going to handle this trade differently. In my smaller account, what I'm going to do is if it's down tomorrow, I'm going to cash out. I've made a 30% profit. I'm happy. On my larger account, all I'm going to do is put a stop at the price I paid for it. Keep going back to the screen. 540. I'm going to put in a stop order at 540. Why? I don't care if I don't make money on this trade. I'm just not willing to lose money. So I'll put a stop in here right at the price I paid for it. And that way I'm at least guaranteed for the most part, not to lose money. Now, most of you know I will invest my risk amount, and that way I could care less what happens to the trade. It's only 1 to 2% of my account value. So I just wanted to share those with you, and I hope you are making these trades, and I'm still hoping you're evaluating your watch list every night. If you have any questions, just send me a call. Send me a call. Send me an email. You take care. Good night.